Widow Bakar Bashir, accused of masterminding the Bali bombings, has today been released from an Indonesian prison. Bashir, who has always denied involvement in the attack, was initially jailed over the blasts, which killed more than 200 people, including 88 Australians. But his conviction was quashed on appeal. The 82-year-old has been behind bars since 2011 for sponsoring a terrorist camp.
Under the cover of darkness and surrounded by local authorities, radical cleric Abu Bakar Bashir walked out of the Gunung Sindi detention centre a free man.
I want to thank everyone who has helped me a lot over the years.
Dressed in his trademark white coat and wearing a face mask, the 82-year-old stopped for photos with prison officials before heading home.
His family requested via the legal team to leave early to avoid crowds because Bashir is at an elderly age of 82 years old and is at high risk of contracting COVID-19.
Bashir was the spiritual leader of Jemaah Islamiyah, the terror group behind the 2002 bombings that killed 202 people, including 88 Australians. Despite several attempts by Indonesian authorities, Bashir was never directly held responsible for the nightclub blasts on Kuta Beach. He was convicted of a separate terror charge in 2011. His 15-year sentence was reduced periodically for good behaviour, leading to his early release today. The news was met with outrage by victims' families and survivors. Andrew Csabi says he was handed a life sentence when he walked into the Sari Club in Bali 18 years ago.
18 years doesn't make a lot of difference sometimes when you witnessed, mass murder and what I went through, and obviously your daily challenges, having lost a leg above the knee, half the right foot, in a terrorist bombing.
Laczynski, who by lucky break left the nightclub just hours before the bombs went off, lost 5 friends in the explosion that night. He fears Bashir's release could lead to future attacks.
There are a lot of families that are still suffering every single day. When you talk about him walking out today, it's such a painful image to see him. As soon as anyone sees that image on TV, it's going to burn a hole in our hearts.
We have made clear through our embassy in Jakarta the concerns we have, that such individuals be prevented from further inciting others, and we will continue to follow those sort of issues through.
But Bashir's son has said Australia doesn't need to worry about his father, and some experts believe the radical cleric is unlikely to pose much of a threat to Indonesian security.
He's an old man, he's not in good health, he's been out of contact with jihadist circles, and also he will be closely monitored by the Indonesian authorities, everything he says and everyone he meets.
Cold comfort, though, for the survivors and victims' families of Indonesia's worst terrorist attack. Lynn Evelyn, SBS World News.